Yo, what's the word? Now check it out. It's your boy Klasic from Classic Live. I got the homie OG Corn Dog in the building. Before we get started, man, I'm gonna need y'all to do two things. Make sure you smash that like, and if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're on a different platform, hit that like, heart the video, retweet, quote, do whatever you got to do to make sure you get us in an algorithm. Now, today, man, we got this crazy situation going on. A couple days ago, you know, you got Karmelo Anthony. He was convicted. He was found guilty of unaliving Austin Metcalf. What is it, Metcalf or
Metcalf?
Metcalf?
Yeah.
All right, Austin Metcalf. And now his father has done an interview. And his father stated that they released, they had a gag order on him to where he couldn't really speak on a lot of things that was going on. But this dude has some shit to say. And a lot of people are saying that, you know, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. So they're accusing of Austin Metcalf of being the same way how his father was. And people are saying that his father was, you know, the RACIS, you know, the rest. And that's not cool. Charleston White got in the headlines to where he was on the side of Carmelo Anthony family before there ever was a verdict. He was saying like, hey, there's no way that he's not gonna be found guilty. He's gonna get off. He even was saying that, you know, like everything to be cool. Then he switched sides and said, hey, man, you know what? I'm sorry, Carmelo Anthony parents, you know, the white people, they were supposed to be good to us. They were supposed to be on our side. And then things went left for him. Then he switched sides to being on fucking Jeff Metcalf side about the whole situation and saying, hey, I understand you're a grieving father. And, you know, they shouldn't have killed your son and everything. So the question is this dude, Jeff, being emotional because he lost his son, or he just don't like black people? Let's just keep it simple and plain. So, you know, we're going to get into the video in a minute, but Corny, what do you think about this whole situation, bro?
Okay. This guy, Jeff Metcalf. My condolences to you on that right there. I'm going to give you my respect on that. But I can't give you no respect on your response to Carmelo Anthony. The racist term that you use, I cannot respect that. I see you saying something like that. I see you as, I can only say one word. You're an evil person. You're evil. Just because you think like that. I'm sorry. That's the way my logical common sense work in my brain. When I see someone that's purposely trying to be racist, that lets me know what type of character you have, what what type of person you are, and what you was probably teaching your kid. You know, I'm pretty sure he learned a lot from you in that direction of thought. You know what I mean? I personally, I don't raise my kids to hate. I don't say hateful things about other races in front of them. I don't do things. I don't practice that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's evil. You know, for you to purposely, raise your kid like that, that's between you and God. Now with this guy, I can understand that you got this anger when the first thing that you said was You people. When I heard that, I'm like, oh, I don't even want to hear no more. You started off that way. I didn't want to hear no more as soon as you said that. And then you said, you guys, something about you guys are laying your hat down, something like that in the wrong place or something. Never heard that term before.
Hey, I don't mean to cut you off, but basically he was saying like y'all pride yourself on like stupid shit.
Yeah, I get what he was saying, but I've never heard that term before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it. And then he just said, okay, well, here's something. I'll give you something racist that'll go viral. And he definitely did. This went viral, and it's definitely racist. You know what I'm saying? That goes to show you what type of people that's in America. That I bet you anything that man voted for Trump. Not to be talking politically, but I can see it all in him. And the dude looked like he's the poster boy of racism when he said that. That's just my opinion right there, man.
Okay, so for what you saying in chat, if y'all have something to say, chime in also. But Corny, have you ever been? Well, matter of fact, the stuff that he's saying, is it because he's a grieving father, or do this person particularly not like a particular race? And another thing, can you make a crazy, outlandish comment and not be racist?
Okay, for the first question, I think that ties into both him being angry and him being a racist asshole. That's connected. You know what I'm saying? I can hear it in his voice. He is angry. You know what I'm saying? And he has every right to be. I can say that. But to bring in, these racial slurs or racial terms, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not cool. And I can't respect none of that. You know what I mean? I don't want nobody around me who thinks like that. You understand what I'm saying? And that's real. I got a neighbor of mine, cool guy, you know what I'm saying? And excuse me, his girl's ex-husband or something, he mentioned to me that he was racist or something like that. I said, man, I don't ever want to meet that dude. You know what I'm saying? If it's a get together over here, please don't invite me if that dude is there. That's what I said. You know what I'm saying? For real. Because if I ever see him and they ever try to introduce me to him, I'm not shaking that man's hand. Because the information that you already done gave me. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, hey, well, you know what? Time for me to bounce. I'll catch y'all on the next one. You know what I mean? I'm out of here. I don't want to be around people like that. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah, I hear you on that. And honestly,
and wait. The second question: can you, say something that's racial but not meaning to be racial? Can you? Yeah, you can. And you know who can do that? Comedians. That man's not a comedian. That's not his profession. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't saying it to be funny in a way. You know what I'm saying? Comedians say things like that. It's like, laugh at your own self type of comedy and shit. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. And some people be like, oh, yeah, he's right. You know what I'm saying? They laugh about it. You know what I mean? But what he just said, that ain't, nah, that right there, he can't get away with it. You can't let him get away with it. You know what I mean? That man probably gonna have to move after saying stuff like that. The way
you think people gonna bring the smoke to him like that?
I mean, hey man, this is the internet. You feel me? This is the internet. They'll wind up protesting in front of that man's house.
Hey, he already said that people was making threats on him via mail, I guess, and via social media and stuff like that, and text messages. Like, I don't know how they got his number, but people already on him.
Yeah, man.
And honestly, when it comes to making different remarks, I think people can say stuff in the heat of the moment that they don't necessarily mean. They're actually being emotional because like if we get into a back and forth, let's say you're a different race, and I'm black or whatever, if we having a heated moment, people are going to say shit to get under your skin and get on your nerves. And people know that no matter what race you are, the racial slur or the racial attack is always going to be something that's going to be where people feel defensive about it, to where it's like, oh, hell yeah, now I got to do something. Like, it's race, and then when you attack somebody's family, those type of things are damn near button pushers to where it immediately turn everything automatically up. So, I do believe certain people can say certain things in the heat of the moment and actually don't mean it. And then you just got people that just outright don't like other races, and that's how they are. Yeah. But in a heated moment, it's hard to differentiate one from the other. You feel me? So, in this particular situation, I don't know. I can't really say that, because seeing him say this type of stuff, it automatically goes to the children, and we're going to assume that the children act the same way, to where now I'm thinking like, well, you know what? If his father's like that, his son might have been like that. And what if you would have told, Karmelo, hey, N-word, you got to get out of here? That kind of changed the whole tone from how social media try to say like this kid was so innocent, and that could be far from the truth. So with his father saying the stuff they said, it kind of muddies the water of what people think about what actually happened, because some people automatically think that Austin automatically deserved whatever he got because he was being a bully, he was throwing his weight around. And if you add that extra context of, well, what if he was being, racial towards him, then it makes things even more worse, to where people will feel like, yeah, well, Karmelo should have did what he did, and his brother should have got it too. So, I really haven't made my mind up as far as saying if his father's really like that, but I can't identify and say that he's in a area where he's grieving. People grieve differently, and some people could be angry. Now you might say, what is he angry about? Like the dude that did something, he's in jail, but hey, you're not going to get Austin back. He's gone forever. Some people was making jokes about that, like, hey, Karmelo, I woke up today, I'm breathing, Karmelo's breathing, but Austin's not, so you got to live with seeing the people on the internet say these nasty things, to where a lot of that stuff that you had pinned up in you, now you're just unleashing it. And honestly, some people just don't need to be doing fucking interviews, especially at a very dramatic time like this right now. So I'm not saying what he did was right, but I'm trying to understand, why the fuck would you say that type of shit, especially after all of this stuff that actually transpired? Like, you're really a dumbass for doing the shit that you said.
And you're right, exactly. And this part, there's another part that you just were speaking on. If that man didn't really feel like that in real life, and you said that, like, what's the point of you saying that? Unless you really feel like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my point right there. I don't know the man from a can of paint.
Hey, one thing that I seen, if people can remember how all this stuff kind of transpired, when they was doing like different press conferences and all this stuff before, or even before the trial even started, like when all this shit happened and they was getting all the news footage and all this other shit. It was a time to where both parents from both families, they was in the same vicinity, and they said Jeff actually tried to reach out to Karmelo's parents and said like, hey, let's get together, let's pray. But they told him, hey, get him out of here, get out of this area. They don't want to deal with you. You're making a scene, to where he had to end up leaving. So how do you go from I want to pray with y'all, basically trying to show compassion, to calling somebody a watermelon felon? You feel me? So it's like, was that actually sincere of you before, or now you just fucking fed up with how everybody else is fanning the flames with saying, we smoking on Austin tonight, and just whatever disrespectful stuff that people feel like they need to say? Because I've been seeing a lot of people after this verdict has been done. I've been seeing how they've been reacting. Some of the stuff is distasteful. The crazy part about it is some of these people are making up narratives and they wasn't even there. Like it's still kind of up in the air as far as why Karmelo was over there. Some people saying this, some people saying that. It's kind of up in the air as far as, was he in an endangered type of setting to where they was being threatening and menacing towards him? Some people saying that it wasn't. Some people said like, oh yeah, they was surrounding around him and doing all this crazy stuff. So some people have these false narratives going on to where it's making everything kind of more confusing for the average person, because a lot of people, they're not going to do their due diligence. They're going to hear something that they feel is close to what they think is right and go off of that. So, back to him saying the statements that he made, I think he's dumb as fuck for saying the stuff that he said, as far as talking about, because he's generalizing black people, and it seemed like he was putting all of black people in a hole, and you can't do that. Some actually fit that stereotype, but you can't say that about all black people. Like the comment that you made earlier when he was saying like, yeah, some of y'all black folks tilt y'all hat on, because he was talking about somebody, you didn't go to jail, so I guess that's good. Some of y'all black people just, tilt y'all hat on some low, basically some low standards and everything. Yeah. And all black people aren't like that, but you do have some that's like that. So it's like it's just the wrong timing for him to say that shit, and especially from him saying that shit, it definitely made things even worse. You people. That part. Yeah, that part.
Those two words. You know how long
what he said, I'm like,
you know how long those two words have been around for generations. When you hear those two words, you know exactly how that man feels about you in particular.
Yeah, man.
That phrase has been around, man. It's America.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He said a couple of things that I'm like, what do you mean by that?
He started with that.
Man.
He started with that. Oh my God.
Yeah, let's get to it, man. Now, this video is by Hype Plus News, man. They uploaded the whole 2-hour and 30-minute video, but we're gonna go a little bit into it. Like, I think we're gonna start at like the 20-minute mark, because I think that's where it kind of start getting spicy with this commentary.
Okay.
So let me do this right here.
This stupid evil motherfucker gotta say.
Man, yeah, let's go.
Look at it.
Man on the planet that hopes you are going to be better than me.
You about to piss me off right now.
Out in this world, it's a rough world. It's tough. It's a rat race. It's a cutthroat. It's try to get ahead, try to stay up with the Joneses. But you got to make sure you stay true to your beliefs. I always told them this also. You are free to make any choice you want in life, but you are not free from the consequences.
Stay true to your beliefs, man, like you said.
What can I get you to drink?
And
a Coke.
Yeah, and a Coke.
And a Coke.
And a Coke.
Did you hear what he said? You see how he started?
Yeah, he said stay true to your beliefs, man.
Yo! So this is what he believes.
Unfortunately, this just played out in real life. Because I told them, please don't make a choice that will affect your life forever. It could be a DUI, maybe an unexpected pregnancy. Maybe you kill someone. I don't know, but none of them are going to end up in a good position. Impulse control is one of the things that today's youth has a problem with because the parents do not give them enough instruction, guidance, or whatever reason. Maybe they're not around. Maybe they don't have a father in the house. I don't know. But people said, "Oh, your kids are bullies. You come, they divorced. It's a split parent home." I got news for you. We live 12 minutes apart. I saw my kids. I hunted with my kids. I fished with my kids. I never once abandoned them. Nothing. We co-parented the whole time. Megan is an excellent mother. She took care of those boys. I showed them the man side of life. She showed them the other side.
Right.
We worked congruently together.
Okay.
Our boys were very well-rounded, very diversified. We don't see color. We're not racist. We have friends of all diversities, nationality, ethnicities. It doesn't matter. I'm like God. God doesn't see color. Justice doesn't see color.
Wait, hold the fuck up. I'm like, God. Hey,
Yeah.
and you notice it'd be like the most racial people always say that, hey man, I don't see color, man. I don't know race. What is that? And then this nigga saying, I'm like, God, I don't see, like, you serious, man?
He
Come on
has
now.
he has friends of different ethnicities. How they feel about what you just said then? Are they calling you up in the morning and say, "Hey, Jeff, I seen the video or the interview you did the other day. You want to know my take on what you said, or are you interested? Are you still my friend after what you said?"
Man.
Come on. He
That don't make no sense.
Hate doesn't see color. Love doesn't see color.
Nope.
If you put on those glasses and you see color as an individual, you need to look in the mirror and you need to reevaluate who you are. Do you contribute to society or are you a detriment? I'm surprised, honestly, by human race and mankind of the despicable, vile display of the most uncompassionate, unempathetic, uncaring, soulless individuals who choose to monetize the death of a dead child or speak very derogatory of him or make memes and talk all over the internet about my son while I'm under a gag order and can't respond. It's like being tied to a chair and someone is slapping your face back and forth.
Okay.
And you can do nothing about it but take it.
Mm-mm.
Well, that day is ended.
I get
the
it
muzzle's
now.
off. And all you people, I'm telling you up front right now,
You people.
There you go.
this is a warning. Karma's a bitch. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I don't have to come after you. It's going to take care of itself. People are going to see you for who you really are now. And if we want to talk individuals, we can, because I couldn't speak about this in court.
You believe in karma.
But I can speak freely now because the gag order is lifted.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Billions, McAdoo, whatever her last name is. I'm not going to throw insults at you because I'm not going to lower myself to your level. But you're despicable.
Mm.
Drew Anthony, Kayla, you're cowards. You wouldn't even show up for your son's sentencing or victim statement impact. You abandoned your kid. You left him there. I guess he's no more use to you because you can't get any more GoFundMe money or Go money.
Oh,
You
shit.
are grifters. You should be ashamed of yourself. You raised that child. And I swear to God, CPS should come check on those other 3 that you still have.
Damn.
You never once admitted or took accountability. You tried to play victim. The real victim is the one who died, not the one who shoved a knife in his chest.
Mm.
I come to pray with you and show the world we can close the gap of this unbelievable racial divide. And what'd you do? You widen the gap even further. You hire a convicted baby-shaking felon who's only in it for the money, who gives you bad advice, kicks me out of a press conference. Oh, funny. I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, but I left when asked. I didn't stab anyone. And then you proceeded to gaslight me with your convicted felon, quote, advocate, minister? Minister of what? Minister irrelevant? Minister of bullshit?
Mm.
How about minister fuck you?
Oh, shit.
Y'all think
Damn.
I'm a saint? I'm no saint. I'm as human as you. I have emotions. Just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean I don't sin, because I don't walk on water and I don't turn into wine. And anybody else can, step up. Don't become kicking rocks in my backyard. Look in your own. The display of adults on the internet. If your children saw how you acted, would you be proud? Or is that what you teach them? Do you teach them that racism is okay? Do
No.
you teach them? Do you inbred? Do you program your kids to hate, to kill?
Stop.
From day one, I said,
We got to
Yeah.
stop there right there. We got to stop right there because this is what I was mentioning earlier. You know what I mean? And he's bringing up a point right now. I don't want to just, break the video like that, but I have to speak on it. He's starting to win me over. He is. Honestly, I'm thinking, I don't want to just, I'll save it for the end, but yeah, I'll save it for the end. He's beginning to win me over, man. He's a grieving father. I feel for him, man. I really do.
So what did he say to where you felt like I guess you agreed with them or what?
Early in the conversation, what had he said? I don't know, but it was leading to what he had just said right there. If you teach your kids to be racist like that, and that's the same thing, we're on that same plane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it, and the other thing he was saying, he doesn't see color. I get that part because me, I treat people as human beings. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we are first. That's what I mean. You can be judgmental by the race that you see. You're very judgmental. You know what I mean? Because those are the stereotypes that we've all seen throughout America growing up. So it's hard to resist to be judgmental. But I'm beginning to be won over by this man. He also said that he's a Christian and he believes in karma. I heard that perspective of him. So it seems like we got a lot in common right now. You know what I mean? I hate to say it, even though he said something that was racist, because I was saying to myself earlier, like I said, like, what if he's really not like that and he just said that? Why would you say that? And would your friends of other races call you up the next day and have a conversation with you and continue the relationship with you, your friendship? You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. He's a grieving father, dude. It was
That's
a
what I'm
gag,
saying. Like,
gag order on him, and he couldn't say anything. I get it. Right now, what he's doing, he's venting, and that's honestly to say, man, that's considered to be healthy for mental health. You know what I'm saying? So that's necessary because he couldn't say anything the whole time. And man, just think about it. Not saying nothing. I get it now, man. He's venting. It's healthy for him, for his mental health. He's basically saying you could call it how you call it or how you see it, and I'm just gonna say it anyway because I have to. You know what I mean?
yeah, like I know he couldn't say a lot of stuff that he wanted to say, but at the same time, even though I get what you're saying with him venting, but you can't go on some racial tirade and just say that, oh, I'm venting and stuff. I understand that you frustrated, but that don't give you the pass to be racist or whatever. But
Yeah.
I do understand the fact of what you're saying that right now he's saying stuff as from the perspective of a grieving father,
Yeah.
and even with him winning in court, basically this is kind of like reopening the wound because I'm pretty sure in the video in court they showed like how everything transpired, and you might not seen everything that happened, but this is exactly when my son lost his life. You're revisiting that,
The
and then
story
you're
was told.
hearing people on the internet, make their comments about like, he's dead, he deserved it, and all this other stuff. So I could understand that you have a mixed bag of emotions, but the question is, I'm about to say, what do the statement as far as how certain black culture is, where do that come into play? Because a black person ended up taking your son's life, so now all black people run their households that type of way.
Yeah, see, yeah, picking my brain, right? You're taking my thoughts out. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like categorizing all for one.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not how it goes, man. That part and the other part is like, the racial part of it. I guess he has to do that because it seemed like the whole case was a racial thing in the first place. So he would have to speak on that too. Not only speak on it, but as a white man in America, and he had a gag order, that man is going to probably say a whole bunch of stuff after this.
I seen some evidence still saying that, to debunk the rumors as far as the all white jury, they said that some of the people is Indian, Hispanic, and I forgot another race, but still that's still non-black. So I can see how people run with that narrative. But I also seen people say that You think the fact that if there was a black person or two on the jury that it would have changed the outcome? Well, he'd have been found not guilty or would have been a hung jury.
I mean, I don't know. I can't really say that because it's all testimony. It's all evidence. That's what the jury takes in. They tell you the story. They show you the evidence of how the story happened and everything. They take that all in. They go talk amongst one another and break it down. You know what I'm saying? So even if it was one juror on there that was black, but this is what I'm saying, when it comes to the peers, how old were those people?
On the jury?
Yeah. Because he was 18 when the crime went down? Oh, was it 17?
The 17?
Okay, if it was 17, then I mean they charged him as an adult. Okay, now there's no teenagers. I mean, what you gonna have, like a jury from like 18 to 21 as peers? You feel me?
Nah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's gonna be adults, but yeah, they can't have.
Of course.
If anything, they said that they had around like 22 witnesses. Now, I'm pretty sure a majority of those witnesses will be the peers that went to that school.
Okay, those are the witnesses, but you got probably older people on the jury. The majority of them was white. If there was a black person on there, I mean, depending on if they was middle class or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I get jury notices all the time. I ignore all that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna never find me on a jury doing nothing. It depends on, if you say in particular, if it was a black person that was on the jury that was lower class, okay, then you might have some favor in that part right there. You understand what I'm saying? Because that is considered a real peer then. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where Karmelo Anthony background and all that, come from. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, you would, if it was somebody on the jury like that, yeah, it would have been a hung jury, I think. Honestly, yeah. I believe that. Yeah. Middle class, all that started changing. You know what I'm saying? Because they thinking in a different sense. You know what I'm saying? All of that, man. All of that matters.
So when you say they thinking in a different sense, what is that sense labeled as? Responsible?
Yeah, they looking strictly at the evidence.
And you say that the lower class will be looking at something as far as based off of emotions?
Racial. It'll be racial then.
So
I honestly have to say that, yeah. I'm sorry, man. Hey, be mad at me for saying it, but yeah, I honestly would think that, yeah.
Like I hear where you're coming from, but then at the same time, if he was to say that would be deemed as racist. Like I understand where you're coming from because
if he was to say that there was a lower class black juror on the jury,
if
he would be racist.
If he was to say, hey, the reason why Karmelo Anthony got off because hey, you saw that black guy that was on there, he was lower class, he was thinking with his emotions, and no matter what the evidence provided, he just wanted to see Karmelo be free. They will label him as racist, but you just now said that though.
Yeah. So either outcome, it looks like he's a racist.
So the thing is that a lot of those people that was out there yelling and going crazy and stuff like that, they were looking at it from an emotional standpoint and not necessarily the evidence. So it's just
yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, because that's what the jurors they're there to determine the evidence and testimony, and they go decide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's their job. They talk amongst each other, and they want to go home. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, well, shit. Let's see
let's
what
get
else
back
you
to
gotta say. I'm gonna keep in
Let's
mind you said, hey, he's winning me over with his stuff. So let's give about 5 more minutes.
I know. I know, because I'm like, he's about to make me mad probably 5 minutes.
This was never about race. Please don't make it about race and don't politicize it. And what did you do? You chose both.
Hi, can I take your order?
Can I get a plate of half chow mein, half super
Oh,
greens?
both.
Yeah, you're just not saying that. He said, don't make it about race and don't politicize it, but people chose to do that.
Oh.
The race card, black fatigue, it's real. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
So we gonna get back to it, but I was gonna ask you that. Is black fatigue actually a thing? And since he's saying that, is it racist to say that?
First of all, I don't know if black fatigue is real because I'm black. You know what I'm saying? I'm not white. You know what I'm saying? Only white people know about that. So they must be talking amongst each other if he was to say that as a conversation at the water bottle at the office. You feel me? What's the second part you were saying?
Yeah, I was just stuck upon the whole black fatigue thing.
Yeah, that part right there. You know what I'm saying? So it must be a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Me, hey, I'm not tripping like that. You know what I mean? I mean, I can't tell if it is or not because I'm black. So I can't tell. Only way I can tell if some of my white friends tell me. You know what I'm saying? On a real note, be honest about it. Tell me and let me know what y'all talking about. Let me go back and tell my people.
Hey, but with you saying that you don't know because you black, I've heard a lot of other black people say that they tired of what certain black people do. Not saying all black people, but in every race, you have different levels of class. You have, let's just say, the Malcolm X's and the Martin Luther Kings, and then you have the Sexy Reds and stuff. Now, would you put Sexy Red on the same level as a Martin Luther King? No, they have different levels of class. They cherish certain things differently. So,
okay, so you saying that part of it? The ratchetness, man. Yo, man, that price is probably gonna fade out. It's just a moment right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's like the fad, or what I'm saying right now, the ratchet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm sick of all that. You know what I'm saying? I got a 7-year-old daughter, and she ain't seen no kind of Sexy Red video or no orange hair, big booty girl rapping. She ain't seen none of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not raising my daughter like that. You know what I'm saying? My daughter talks very proper, like she a white girl.
You know that Young Miami song that's out, that Spin That song?
Nah.
Where's all my scamming niggas on that?
Oh yeah.
It's a viral video going on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, damn.
The dude was dancing. You seen that video where the dude was dancing and all the elementary kids? Huh?
I didn't see the video.
Okay, well, it's not the actual music video, but somebody is doing like a TikTok video. It must be pretty popular, and they did it at a school, and all the kids behind it was some elementary kids, seeing, and I'm hearing these small voices talking about scamming niggas, spin that shit. So, the ratchetness, like you said, is gonna go, but I believe it's at an all-time high. Like the women, you can't really tell them anything. And to be honest with you, a lot of the women are the most boisterous and ignorant of the bunch. Not all of them, but they be the most vocal about, oh, I can't get a guy that got a 9 to 5. Where the scammers at? Where's the drug dealers at? Those be the main people that be talking about relationship goals and all this stupid shit. So
that's probably why you're not gonna get a man, because you're looking for that man right there you rapping about.
Yeah. So it's crazy to hear this white guy talk about black fatigue, but if you talk about that amongst other black people, they'll tell you there's certain things that we do in the community that they don't like, they don't want to be associated with, because honestly, it kind of make us all look bad. It's something, as they say, secondhand embarrassment. Like I know I don't do the ratchetness that some other people do, but when you go into certain establishments, they're going to be looking at you like, all right, just like the siren situation. Soon as you go into a store, that's why when you go to certain liquor stores or whatever the fuck it is, they looking at you, hawk-eyeing you, because they think that you're going to be on that stealing shit to where you can't pay for anything, because so many other people be doing that. And stereotypes can be true to a certain extent, but everybody don't fit that stereotype. That's when people prejudge people by what they heard. And like black culture, I don't think black culture is the same as what it was in the 70s. It was way more black power. What's up, my brother? What's up, my sister? Yeah. You say that shit in 2026, nigga, get the fuck on from me, nigga. Trying to be all positive and shit, nigga. So it's more hate amongst each other than uplifting. And that's the type of shit that I'm not with. You feel me? So it's just
that right there. That's the part that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
These youngsters out here, you guys need to. What you guys are doing right now, you set yourself up later for you to be embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna be raising your kids, and you're gonna be looking at it like, oh, we did this. You know what I mean? We definitely need to make the change of the part of where the unity needs to come in together. All that gangbanging stuff, just think about it, man. How every neighborhood was ran, but if all that neighborhood was one, how it could be ran. You feel me? That way we don't have to be fearing amongst one another, and we can live and support each other then. You know what I'm saying? Somebody came up, they got a business going on. We tell everybody, go over there, and we go support them because he's one of us. And then when you come up, they going to do the same in return. You know what I mean? If we support each other, we wouldn't have to worry about pointing fingers at nobody else. Because it's all on us then once we get that unity together. And it's slowly happening, man. It is, man. I'm not going to lie about that. It's slowly happening. You know what I mean? And these youngsters going to find another way, because this technology is kicking their ass when it comes to, crime.
Oh, for sure.
They got to find another way, because no matter what, if you thought you got away with it, they coming after you. They coming to get you later.
Yeah. You ain't getting it. Ain't the 80s no more. Yeah, it's the 90s. Yeah. They got a lot of technology that's out there. And another thing that you were saying with the games, we talked about this before. Community rebuilding in progress, or community revolution in progress and stuff. That's what it started off as. But today it's definitely not like that. So I agree with you on that. We definitely need to get it together. Another thing I noticed with that whole boycott stuff, people are holding strong to that boycott with the boycotting the different restaurants and stuff like that, or just
dude, I've been seeing that, man. Yeah,
I've been seeing that. So
and they feeling it. They feeling it, man. You know what I'm saying? That makes a difference.
For
that
sure.
truly makes a difference. And they like, oh my God, I can't wait for them to come back. If they ever come back off, they're gonna treat them like they was white.
And I'm not
we
I'm not gonna
basically
lie, bro.
we basically their own customers. They own their best customers.
Of course. And it kind of goes back to like what you said a little bit earlier. Like, but if you the crazy part about that, if you said that out loud to another black person, some of them say, like, nigga, what you talking about? But what you were saying was we need to treat each other better so other people can treat us the same way. And honestly, like with this whole boycott stuff, that's kind of the start of it. All right, well, now they standing on business. They meaning what they say. They sticking together. So now we got to approach them this type of way. But because if we keep operating the same way like how motherfuckers do previously, unchecked, you can't tell nobody nothing, then of course they're going to be looking at us like as unhinged people and shit like that. So it's like at the end of the day, we have to look out for our own and treat each other better so other people know how to treat us. If it's the same way, if you see somebody have a dirty ass house, you're not going to go in there and treat the house the same way you treat your house. Well, they don't care, so I don't care. And that could go the same thing with the community. So yeah, man, it's crazy that he said black fatigue is real. It's racist if he said, but then I know it's other black people that feel the same way. Like all that, stealing from each other, just all that in-ish. You feel me? To where it ain't doing nothing but being destructive to us.
Build. It's time to build. That's what we need to do. We need to build with one amongst each other. We need to build together. Like you said, with the protest that's going on, like it's letting them know that our dollar makes a matter. You understand that your business ain't doing the way it's supposed to be doing because the majority of your business is us.
Yep.
And our dollar, without our dollar, you don't have a business.
Real talk, bro.
If we had our own business, we wouldn't be going to them. And who in the hell will be their customers?
They own, but we be the main people that be doing all the spending. So they'll really see that it'll really hurt their pockets for sure.
Yeah. Niggas, and like I said, man, it's coming together. It's slowly happening. But I think the building part, like, it's hustlers out there in the streets. And them hustlers are business minded. You know what I mean? Now just think about, you got hustlers that's business minded and they legit down working together. They used to be enemies, but now they working together and building a corporation. What the? You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's the recipe right there. What I just said. That's the recipe.
The 2026 Black Wall Street all over again, man. Yeah. Let's get back to it.
All right.
You have embarrassed your own culture and race. Don't get me wrong. We got a lot of people that embarrass the shit out of me too. But you guys, you got a patent on that shit.
You guys.
And the only people that's going to change it are you. Don't blame the white person because we can't change it.
I was just saying.
But you're going to blame the white person for every fucking thing else. We're the bad ones. We're the one that held you down. Guess what? You can do everything in America that I can do. Tell me one thing you can't do that I can't do. We all have equal rights. What's it say? All men are created equal. The First Amendment protects free speech. I'm for it. Free speech doesn't guarantee you safety.
True.
Perfect example. Charlie Kirk, a man who I admired. looked up to. You know why? Because he could fight with words and logic. He didn't need fists, guns, or knives. No. He sat down and talked with you. How do you solve any situation when there's a problem? Communication. Charlie was an expert. That's one person I admit I would not want to debate. He was a walking chat GPT. But he held strong on his faith. He never wavered. His convictions were solid. He was a good man. Taken too soon also. Some people called him racist. Some people call me racist. Does it make me racist?
Are you?
No. My grandfather once told me, what other people think of you, son, is none of your business. I didn't quite understand it then, but I understand it now. The only person that judges me is God. And God sees all.
That's what I tell my daughter. Yo, we go on mute?
Hi, can I take your order?
Nah,
Can
I
I get a
sound like
plate
his
of half
feet
chow
went
mein,
out.
half super greens, orange?
Hey. And
Damn, the fucking Knicks won, so they're the champions, man. That's wild.
oh man,
Continue.
I left out on the third quarter
Where we leave
too.
off.
Oh my god, they came
Okay.
back.
So
They fucking up.
back to the parenting situation. When I was a kid, my generation was the best generation to ever grow up.
Each generation X.
We were the last generation that didn't have social media. We didn't have cell phones,
right?
and we didn't have internet.
Nope.
We actually had to talk to people, conversate. We actually wanted to go outside, not stay inside and play games. Our internet, that was this thing called a Britica encyclopedia set that you did your homework out of.
Yeah,
Or you go down to the library and use the Dewey Decimal System to look up a book.
The
None of
Dewey
you kids know that.
System.
You kids can't even read cursive nowadays, so they don't teach it.
For real.
They took God out of school. Look what happened. Do you think it's a coincidence that society started to decay even faster when we start removing things that are actually good foundations? God, family, friends, job. That's my pecking order. May not be for everybody's, but it's mine, and I own it.
Okay.
Now, some people will ask you, do you know Jeff Metcalf? Yeah. What do you think about him? He's an asshole.
Oh, really?
Or he's the greatest guy. He'll give you the shirt off his back.
Okay. Yeah, he wanted in.
So they both can be right.
Like that.
Because I give what you get. Or what you give, or to me, I'll give it back. So am I racist? Yeah, I'm racist against assholes. I don't like them. I could care less about the color of your skin. We all bleed the same color.
Sure do.
The mental capacity of others sometimes astonishes me. Someone at a certain age, let's just say 40, 50, I would assume, and this is my fault for making assumptions, that you would have common sense, that you'd be intelligent. You could make a difference between right and wrong. Nah. Ain't got nothing to do with age, ain't got nothing to do with color. It's up to you, who you want to be. You chart your course. Guess what? It's not going to go the way you think. Promise. If there's a person who exists on this entire planet who's never had a problem, one, in their life, please step up. I want to meet you because I want to know how you did that. It's not possible. Life is not easy. God doesn't say that. God says there's going to be trials and tribulations.
Mm-hmm.
God says there's going to be people out there who will deceive you.
Right.
People out there. I mean, if we want to go back Old Testament, eye for an eye, Sodom and Gomorrah, turn to stone, man lays with a man, you die. I mean, this is all your personal choices. It's none of my business. I stay in my lane. Just don't come in my lane with your bullshit. I respect everyone until they disrespect me.
Ooh, I like that. You sound like me. We got so much in common.
I've been disrespected by so many people, so many times. Well, I've had to sit here and take it. I'm going to tell you right now, Charleston White,
fuck him.
You think you're funny? We'll see who's laughing. Drew Anthony, you're a pussy and a coward, and you raised one.
Oh, shit.
Kayla, you drunk bitch.
Damn.
What'd you do to that boy to make him stab somebody? My God, what kind of mother are you?
Oh.
Hey, Kevin Hayes, you fucking liar. Day after it happened, how many lies did you sit and type up on your keyboard, you big keyboard warrior? You a big tough man. You still live in Baton Rouge? Remember you said you'd come to Frisco, buddy? You're supposed to find me. I told you we could sit down and talk. That's all you do. Talk, Mr. Squeaky Clean. You're the only one in your family without a damn record. I guess that's something to brag about in your culture.
You're talking hard.
You people hang your hat on the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
We'll have a Baconator, a son,
You
a
people
Baconator,
hang your hat
and 5 little cheeseburgers.
That's what rubbed me the wrong way right there. And I think I get where he was saying on that you people part, because he was talking about them in particular. Those three that he mentioned. But still, that you people rubs me the wrong way. You know what I mean? I don't like that sound. I don't like that you people. But just because he could be probably talking about them in particular because he named them first in the conversation and said that, I don't know, but I feel what he was saying. You know, it's all about respect. You know what I mean? And he respects everybody. I feel like that too. Once you disrespect me, it gets bad for the person that disrespect me. You understand what I'm saying? I get that part. I truly do. Because my philosophy in life, and it's always been, I don't look for no fight, but when the fight comes, I don't run. That's my philosophy. I've said this all my life. So it's the same thing. It's all about respect. But once you disrespect me, then I have to handle that part.
And I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think hearing it in the context of how he just did it, that sounds racist as fuck, bro. How he broke down the fact of, he said, I guess you the only one that don't have a record, and then he went into the whole you people hang y'all hang your hat on the stupidest shit, to where it's like basically it's a celebratory act to say that, hey, I don't have no felonies on my record, so that means everybody that's black supposed to, grow up and get felonies and be criminals and shit, to where it's like that's not moving the goalposts, but that's having low standards. And that's one thing that I don't like about, and that goes along with the black fatigue, the certain group of black people that say that, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that because the white man is going to stop me. Hey, have you ever tried? No, I never tried because I know the white man. You stopping yourself from being successful. So there is a class of us that do make excuses. We blame other people. Like I remember I was talking to my homegirl about this a couple months ago, and we was talking about Rick Ross, and we was talking about the fact of Rick Ross selling dope, and then she went quick into, well, you know, it was the CIA and the Contras and all this other stuff. They did have a part to play, but did Rick Ross have to sell the drugs to his own community for his own personal gain? So, you know, some of us fall victim to the traps that's out there because it seemed the grand prize of everything seemed just so welcoming. I'm poor, I'm in destitute, I don't have anything, but I can change all this within a night, within a week. Who's going to be the victims of it? It don't matter if it's my own relatives, it don't matter if it's my own family. I got to get mine. They're going to get theirs, I got to get mine. And that's a mentality that some of us have. We just talked about this with Compton Rick Rock and about how we got this shit together. So instead of asking, hey, how I get my shit together like that, I'll just take from whatever you have. So not saying that they don't have that in other communities, but me being a black man, yes, we do see the people that come up off of our own people. We talked about that before with the whole Dr. Umar shit, as far as taking all this money, scamming, quote unquote, not building a school with 10, 15 years. So who the fuck are you going to blame? You're going to blame a white man for that? It's something that you're actually doing. So, you know, I do think that a lot of us have to raise our standards, and some of us don't want to do that because that means that we have to do more work. But you can't complain about the lifestyle that you live if you're not willing to put in that work and stuff. So, you know, I think what he said was low-key kind of racist, and the reason why he's saying that is because some of us are with the bullshit to where they have low standards and they want other people to have low standards also, to where they don't have to try hard. Like, it's easier to say some invisible white person stopping you from getting whatever you're trying to get, compared to saying like, hey, you know what? The reason why I'm not where I am in life is because you had 24 hours. You was handling business all 24 hours. I had the same 24 hours, but I was fucking around and just watching TV or just looking at entertainment, stupid shit. You know, it's too much onus on oneself to be responsible for the actions of what you do. Not to say that racism isn't out there, because yes, you will have to come. You're going to come across some obstacles. You know, you get your own people that hate on you. Of course, you're going to have some people outside of your race that's hating on you. But the biggest hater in your life most of the times be yourself, because you don't even try.
Right. Okay. Got you on that part. That part right there. Okay, now let's get back to the point of what he said and the you people part. Like I said, that rubbed me up the wrong way. Now, prior to the you people phrase, he was speaking on those three individuals. Now, then he said you people. So that made me, because that clip right there is what I seen. You people. I seen that first. Now that I seen the whole thing, he was talking. I don't know. I'm gonna ask you this question. Do you think he was talking about those three people prior to him saying you people, or he's generalizing all black people as in one category?
I'm not gonna lie. At first, it sounded like he specifically said something about the father, or Charleston White. Then he said something about the father, then the mother, and then he went into a generalization of what black culture is, basically. And basically, like, it just sounded like he was saying, like, hey, man, y'all got some blow-ass standards. And he even said it himself. Hey, some people in my own race, they piss me off. So I think he's making a generalization of a lot of black people.
Okay. All right. I get it. You could probably win me over on that, because those two words killed me. What?
You people is definitely triggering for sure, because it automatically
got me, dude. Like everything. The moment I heard that, it's like that's like to me it's trigger people. That's when I kind of like get mad a little bit, like especially if I'm in public. If I was to hear something like that, you know, somebody talking to me, I'm probably gonna get mad. You know what I'm saying? Then I have to realize, let me go back to these anger management meetings and utilize the skills that I've learned. So
I'm not gonna lie, that's like low key. You people, I want to say technically is not racist, but it's like a way to be racist without being that. To where the first question that you're saying is, "What the fuck you mean by you people? Explain."
well, that's
But
always going to be the question after that.
yeah, you know, so the first thing is going to be like, you're not talking about, you just talking about a black person or whatever it is. So yeah, that definitely, that's what I'm saying. Like low key, this wasn't the right time for him to talk. I know he said that he had a gag order to where he couldn't speak about a lot of the shit going on, and he's not no PR trained type of person to where he know the right thing to say. It's so much shit that he's trying to say at one time. He's not going to land everything properly, especially if you're not no good public speaker. You're going to be saying some shit that's raw and unfiltered, and it's going to come out a way to where a lot of people are going to pick sides about it and low key not even give you the grace of trying to understand where you're coming from. They're going to be like, hey, it looked like this, so that's exactly what it is. I knew you was racist. I knew your son was racist, and this is exactly why he ended up dying.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
So, you know, I'm glad we having this discussion to kind of go further into it, not apologizing, not giving him a cop out for saying whatever the fuck that he said, but let's analyze what's going on, huh?
Gotta give me a minute.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, man, this whole situation is crazy, man. If y'all haven't done so already, make sure that y'all hit that like, man. Hit that like. Make sure that y'all subscribe to this channel. If y'all on a different platform, make sure that y'all retweet this, heart it, follow the channel. We got to get up in the algorithm, man. We go live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'm not gonna lie, I'm thinking about to step it up because I'm doing like multiple channels, but I think I might start going live even more than Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You know, because it's so much stuff that's going on, and it's so many different topics we could talk about and everything. So, you know, I'm just trying to stay on top of everything to where we all get together on some shit, man. So, you feel me? But yeah, man. Hey, you got anything else to say before we get back to the video, bro?
No, let's get to it.
All right, bet. So let's get back on it, man. Yeah, that nigga.
Let me make one up. Y'all can make let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about Watermelon Felon? How's that one strike you? I hope he enjoyed his first night in that cell last night. Because he's going to have many nights to think about what the fuck he did.
Damn. That's tough.
I forgave him, so I don't carry the hate and the anger.
You forgave him, but you still talking like that.
Like cancer, it kills you from the inside. It's like me drinking poison and hoping it kills you. Doesn't work that way. You gotta let that stuff go or it will kill you. It will eat you up inside.
That's true.
So when people ask me, how can you forgive him? If I didn't, I would have wound up killing him and going to prison myself. That's how stupid people, when you get irrational, because you can't make a good decision if you're emotional. Emotion and intellect do not mix. If you're emotional, you can't come up with a logical solution. Doesn't.
So there we have it. Watermelon Felon. What can you say about that? That definitely sound like we was talking about earlier. You know, that's a new term. I ain't never heard nobody come up with that.
Hell no.
Is he saying this just to try to get back of the people that was saying stuff about his child, or is he just saying that because that's how he feel about black people?
It sounds like both a little bit. It doesn't sound like he's like a full racist, but he's like one of those racists that's kind of jealous racists. He was on a gag order. That man couldn't say nothing for an entire year, and it was lifted. He couldn't say nothing. All of that, that is so much to hold in, dude, and it's not healthy, man. It's not. I don't know. Did he say that? I don't know. He said, yeah, it's bad for you. It's not. You have to ventilate. You have to. You have to get that out. You have to put it out there so you don't have to think about it or say it again. You know what I mean? This man had his mouth shut. They put a zipper on his mouth. Fucked up. He listened to everything they said about his son. I feel for him, man. And like I said, my condolences to you, you know what I'm saying? Because, that's hard. When you get to the point to where, like, you start categorizing a certain race of people, that's where it gets bad. That's where it gets bad. You seem like you're a Christian man and you believe in karma. You seem like you don't want to harm nobody, but you thought about it. That's being a man. Honestly, that's the way we think. Like I said, once you bring the racial part of the game, the categorizing and stereotyping, and then you group it into that section and then follow up with 2 words of you people, and then not after the you people drop, then you come in and say, okay, you want to go viral? And then you say something that you've been thinking of the whole time that you was gagged, and you finally said it. Watermelon Felon. You went viral. You definitely went viral. This is going to be a subject for quite some time, I think. And I don't think this man is done. This is just the beginning. I think we're going to hear a lot more from this man. Nope.
I think we're going to hear more from him, but I don't think he's going to double down on saying crazy shit like that.
No, I don't believe that part. I don't believe that part right there. I'm just saying he will be brought back into these YouTube streets or where else as an interview. And he's probably going to say something else again that's going to go viral. That's what I mean. And I don't mean nothing racial at that, but it'll be something particular to the case, of course. The racial part, bro, you could have left that alone. You know what I'm saying? Because he won me over in a way, man. Until we got to the you people. As soon as he said you people, I'm like, oh man, that rubs. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was an episode of Good Times or something. It was the same thing. You people. I don't know if it was George Jefferson. What you mean by you people? What you talking about? Like, it's trigger words. You said that before you said the real racist. You got our attention with the you people, and then you was like, let me drop the bomb on them. Now I'm looking at you in another way. Now I'm not looking at you like I still want to respect him because he's a grieving father. You know what I'm saying? And that's hard to go through. That's, I'm just thinking logical, like you were saying, using logic, logical common sense, but a lot of people don't have on this goddamn planet. But I'm thinking like that. You know what I mean? I'm really thinking like that. And then when he says that, it's just fuck, man. Like, now what? Because let's say we had a barbecue backyard, and you know there's white people. There's a majority of white people there, and he's there. You know what I mean? And those type of conversations happen. But I'm pretty much like the only black guy that's there in the backyard at the barbecue. You know what I'm saying? And when he says that, I'm gonna say what every black man is gonna say. What do you mean by that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't get uncomfortable. Continue on and say what you have to say, because I want to hear this explanation you have. You know what I mean? Because you know, I done been in places where, you know, it was like that, but it was no type of conversation coming up. But it was like they looking at me like, who the hell is this guy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I finally win them over, and then when I win them over, they're like, "Oh, this guy is fucking cool as fuck." It was some Hollywood shit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, if I was in the backyard at a backyard barbecue in that situation, and he said that to me, and I said, "What do you mean by that?" You know what I'm saying? Elaborate. Let me hear what you got to say, because we're just simply having a water cooler conversation now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel me? And me saying that, it's like, I'm not taking it as disrespect, because I'm here to hear your whole point of view of what you got to say about that, so I can give you my rebuttal. And if you don't like my rebuttal and you keep interrupting me, I'm going to be the lower class than I am and say, hey, we could go to the side over here around the corner, and then hell that. And then how you feel after that, I don't care.
Hey,
you know
for
what
real.
I mean, I don't like that part. He won me over, and then he came out with that "you people" and followed up with that, which makes me think like, damn, is that the way you was really feeling the whole time?
It make you question. That's the thing that like, honestly, right now, like I said before when we talked about this a couple of days ago, if I get more information, I'll be willing to change my opinion and my mind about that. And right now, currently, I don't think that he's a hardcore racist. I think he said something that was racist, but under the circumstances, the dude is a grieving father. And this is the first time he spoke publicly to combat all the stuff that everybody else been saying on the internet. Was that the right thing to say? No. But I think, like I said, he shouldn't have did that interview if he was going to say different things like this. But I guess this is like he felt like this is his way to finally say something to combat all the I'm pretty sure people was calling him a white devil, his son a white devil, a bully, just all the names that you can think about. So he's retaliating, and I don't think that that's done in a fair manner. Yeah, man. I don't necessarily think, because when you were speaking earlier, I was thinking like, yeah, he don't strike me as somebody that, you know, do wake up, trigger, what a day to be alive, you know, N-word, and all, like, he don't seem like, you know, like them real hardcore, I don't like anything dark, and this, you know, those
like
real hard
to his neck or something.
Yeah, you feel me? Like he don't strike me as that type of person. And one thing that I kind of found odd was when all this stuff happened and they was having a press conference, like he said, that is ironic too. He didn't, when they told him to leave, he didn't end up stabbing anybody, you know, the same way how, you know, this Karmelo and Austin situation transpired. He wanted to pray with them, show them some type of compassion and shit like that. So it's questioning me like, all right, if you did that then, so why are you saying this shit now? Were you doing that before just for the cameras and all that shit, just to try to seem like you just this wholesome Christian guy, or are you doing this stuff now because you frustrated with all of the shit that's been thrown at you? So, you know, I can't really have a full-fledged judgment as far as he's just someone that don't like black people and all this other stuff. I'm not even caring about the fact how he's saying like, oh, I got black friends. No, who gives a fuck about that? Who cares? It's just at the end of the day, like how you treat people. So I just kind of think that it's kind of odd that it went from him extending the olive branch to a family of somebody that quote unquote did him wrong to now just shitting on him, shitting on him big time.
Hey, and not to me to cut you off, you know, prior to us doing this show, I did watch another clip before we started. It was like an 8-minute clip. And I seen that part right there with the you people and the watermelon felon. And then there was something he had said later on in the interview that rubbed me the wrong way. I might have to go back to it. I don't know. I'll probably send it to the video after we do the cast. But it was something after he said that, he said something else that rubbed me the wrong way. And then that's when I was like, oh. So that's how you've been feeling, and that's what I was just saying. That's how you've been feeling, and oh, you are a racist. Oh, and then it started making me think, did you teach your kid this? Because that part, what we heard right there, it was like, as soon as I heard you people, and then I heard that, but I didn't know that he was talking about those particular people in particular right there.
Yeah,
they made it seem like that. So after seeing the whole thing, and then I hear that, okay, but there was something else that was said in that interview that rubbed me the wrong way, and it was just like a sentence, like 4 seconds of footage. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, huh. And
you don't know exactly what it was about.
No, man, I'm gonna have to let me look it up. Hold up, bro. Hold up. Let's get to work right here, bro. Hold up.
All right.
It's gonna be over here in history right here. Hold up. Yeah.
You have to be level-headed.
We'll have a baconator.
Okay. Oh, it was the D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley checks also Metcalf to have is at Hype Plus. Go there real quick. I think I'm at like the 8. Let me see where I'm at. Hold up. I should on mute. I think I stopped it somewhere at that point. It's probably somewhere close to that. Where am I at? Hold up.
Sometimes you gotta interview, social media. As you guys know, still, I would imagine very upset and highly emotional about this.
Is it right here? Hold up.
It definitely seems that Jeff is still very much emotional and hurt by losing his son.
Get entitled. You know what DEI stands for? Yeah. Means I don't have to be something qualified. I just have to be a certain color or a race or gender.
Yeah. Somewhere about.
Idea was that? I don't know.
About.
You know what DEI stands?
Hold up.
Look at all the free shit.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back. We'll find the whole. We got here.
Oh yeah, when he was talking about y'all was able to vote in the 60s and stuff.
D.L. Hughley had timestamp like 3:50 or 4 minutes. The D.L. Hughley Hype Plus video
generalizations about
3:48 timestamp.
I see where he get it from. All of the stuff that you said in
his father, for those that didn't know him.
Now, to Austin Metcalf daddy, I see where he get it from. Huh? Listen, watermelon felon and all. I see where he get it from. All of the stuff that you said in this video and how you actually felt throughout this trial, that shows exactly who you are. I don't care what nobody say. You try to act like it's not about race, but
it's 358, 358, 357. Is that the video? Yeah, that's it. 357 timestamp. Yeah, right there. Right there.
This is literally a 3-hour live stream that you can go through and watch. Let me play another clip.
And now you want to talk shit. Oh, I've been so oppressed. You couldn't even vote 1960. Look how far you've come. Look at all the free shit we give you.
Do you hear this?
You're not oppressed. You're fucking entitled. You know what DEI stands for? Yeah. Means I don't have to be fucking qualified. I just have to be a certain color or race or gender. Whose bright ass idea was that? I don't know about you, but when I grew up, there was no participation trophy. There wasn't a safe space created for me because my feelings were hurt.
Now, watching this, I remind myself that Austin was a child, was being raised with somebody that's spewing this kind of mentality.
If a motherfucker my son, I ain't doing no interview. I'm a different kind of man than you are, and I'm taller and my dick bigger. Have a good day, short man.
Keep telling people to watch what comes out of folks' mouth when they mad, because Austin Metcalf's father got angry and suddenly all this ugly stuff started coming out. All these names, all these insults, all this hate.
All right, so to go back on all the free stuff that we gave you, the DEIs about, like, honestly, on some real stuff, I was talking about that with my uncle about that, like the whole DEI stuff. Diversity, equality, and inclusion is not limited to just race. It do include people that's trans, people that's of different sexual orientation, to where they're saying that if you don't have that representation at your job, then you need to actually hire somebody that's of that ilk. And we had that conversation before where I was telling you, like, hey man, would you rather have somebody, you had to get heart surgery, would you rather have somebody that's black and got the job under some DEI stuff, or just somebody out of a different race? You said, hey, give me the best person for the job. It don't matter who the fuck it is. My body's like a car, I treat it like a car mechanic, and my body's the car, basically. Yeah. So some people really look at the DEI situation just from the racial situation of it. But to be honest with you, there's other factors to where it isn't just limited to black folks. People that's of different other sexual orientations, they will get the job before an actual black person. If anything, they will hire a black queer woman before that they'll just hire just a black person. So that's kind of a deep topic to talk about. But then when you say, oh, look at all the stuff that they give y'all, to be honest with you, we could talk about the whole
that we give you.
Well, shit, like, hey, to be honest with you, it isn't black people that's running the government. So,
So he's including himself when he say we.
Huh.
There'd be little key words that get me, like, what the fuck you just say?
You know what? With you saying it that way, though, like with him saying that we, all right, if you white and the government is predominantly white, then you're speaking from the point of view as if you're in that class of the government, basically, because I guess that's your representation. So yeah, that do kind of sound odd, as if it's coming out his own pockets, which is not, though, and it's ironic that you saying, like, yeah, y'all just being entitled. Well, you're sounding entitled, acting as if you're the person that's funding these programs and all that shit or whatever. So yeah, like, I don't think he should have been doing that interview at all, bro, because he's definitely not making anything better.
I think he probably said some more that we didn't get to hear. That was, skullduggery. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that part right there was included on the video that you had, and I was just remembering, like, it was something else he said.
Yeah,
that hit me the wrong way, and it wasn't just a you people. I know it was something else, and that's what it was. He out there talking about, we should have never did this. That's type of shit. That's the way he was saying it. Why did we have these programs going on? We shouldn't have never done this in the first place. That's what it sounded like to me.
Hey, me personally, I don't agree with the DEI stuff though.
Okay, but during that time, like before that, it was like, oh, I don't know if you. That's what the Generation Z call it now, but back in the days, it was the affirmative action.
And you know who benefited from that the most, though?
What's that?
I said, you know who benefited from affirmative action the most?
Hopefully, black people.
No, they said that white women were the most people that actually got employed and benefited from that. Like the last thing that black people actually had a law.
That was like, in the 70s, man. So that's how long that shit was going down.
Yeah. And it's just a lot of narratives and stuff, because they will say that, if we talk about the whole food stamp stuff, they'll be quick to say that black people or everybody on food stamps, but they say white people damn near are the number one people that's on it. But they say that white people are more populated than black people. So
right.
Yeah, if there's
it doesn't stop the statistics.
Huh?
I said, even though they might be the majority in the company, I mean, in America, that doesn't stop the statistics that they are the number ones that's on the county or general leave or public assistance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, if there's 100 white people, and then let's say 50% of them are on food stamps, but if there's 40 black people and 39% of them are on food stamps, that look worse, because even though we don't have the same population, majority of those people are the people that's on it. So that's why
Okay.
it's kind of iffy on that. But the last time black people really had a bill or anything actually done for them was actually being able to vote, because affirmative action, that necessarily wasn't for black people, because the crazy part about it is every time black people get a law passed for them, it always includes everybody else. But when it comes to other races, they get stuff specifically for them. So that could be a whole nother conversation and shit. But
it's crazy.
When he said that stuff, like as far as y'all was able to vote in the 60s and all the other shit.
Yeah. That didn't sound right.
Yeah, it's like
he's including it, he's categorizing there. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about a specific group of people, then when you're doing it like that, you know what I mean? So that don't sound right. That rubbed me the wrong way. Like, oh, that made me think, yeah, he probably is teaching his kid this.
You know what? You could be right on that. One thing I actually do want to say though, with him mentioning all this equal opportunity stuff, I agree with him. But then where I disagree is the fact that he's not mentioning, let's say if he was talking about, hey, y'all can buy any property that y'all want. Okay, so what about the laws of people redlining and doing different things to where they made sure certain black people couldn't actually move into certain communities? It's a free world. You could do whatever you want. Okay, so what about the Black Wall Street that we created, and then they have people to go in there and fuck it all up? So, that's why I say at the end of the day, I do believe you can do anything that you want to, but there is racism out there, and there will be people that's going to try to stop your progress. Sometimes it be your people in your own race, sometimes it be outside of your race, but then sometimes we get so fucked up in the brain to where we feel like we can't do anything. We become our own worst enemy to where we don't even try. So, I understand where he's coming from partially, but I don't think he's telling the full story, because yes, we can go out there and do a lot of stuff, but what about the bullshit that actually occurs? So, I don't know, man. I'm still going to have to think about it. I'm going to try to just say like, he's trying to verbally get his revenge for all the shit that's been said against him, but that's going to really make me think about just like the generalizations of a lot of this stuff, because yes, he could have that mind frame and think the way that he think, but then his kids could be something different. You know, some of us come from a generation where, hey, you don't trust anybody out of your race and this and that, to where, you know, we're more integrated to where it's like, no, there's some good people on the other side, so we should be able to, you know, mingle with other people, you know.
Right.
Who knows? They could be, his kids could have been different, or they could have been the same way the father been teaching them. So, you know, that's, we'll have to figure out some more stuff as more details come out. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, what this dude was saying didn't sound too cool at all. Like, it sounded like he's on the R word side, and it don't sound good, and it's gonna have a bad reputation on his son, to where more people are gonna feel they get the right to disrespect the passing of Austin Metcalf. Right. So, and, you know,
and I would have to say that the only way that if he wanted his son to truly rest is if he was to stay off the internet. After this, you already said what you said. You ventilated. You got it off. You know what I'm saying? That's healthy for you. You know what I'm saying? Don't do any more interviews. Don't come back on the internet. Stay off the internet. You know what I'm saying? And let it be and let it die out. That's real.
Hey, that's some real shit, man. Get your ass up off the internet, man. Yeah, this is a dope conversation, man. If y'all like what y'all saw, make sure that y'all hit that like. Make sure y'all subscribe so y'all can check out the next time we go live. We go live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, man. So make sure that y'all tap in with us, man. So
8 o'clock Pacific time.
Yes, sir. What he said, man. So, hey, catch y'all on the next one, man. Enjoy y'all night. Peace.
Yo, you now rocking with classic music. Now, what I want you to do is hit that like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Yeah, let's get it.